everybody, and welcome to a very different video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my videos from top to bottom, from getting the footage to exporting the final project. So, let's begin. So let's start with getting the footage. Sometimes I use the iPad's default camera, the default camera app, and get the footage there. But most of the time I end up using iMovie's built-in camera thing and getting footage that way. So that's how I get most of the footage for the video, unless it's of course something to do with another app in which I get the footage that way. Speaking of, now we put the footage in the video. Now if I've recorded it, it's put it in there. However, if I record it with the default app, I have to normally scroll through an entire mountain of footage to find what I'm after. As you can see here, I have a lot of crap just stored in here. A lot of it I need to delete, but some of the stuff I am just keeping. Most of it is to do with the origin story and Yoshi reviews. I'm not deleting those because for the Yoshi's origin story, I don't know which bits I have and haven't used. And for Yoshi reviews, it's more so I can use the footage in other segments. For this segment, I'm just taking a snippet from an upcoming video which I'm currently working on. Well, not currently working on. It's currently on hiatus, Mario Clutch Buns Upgrade. This is just a sample of me editing that video. The audio too comes from videos. It's not enough sound effects that I mostly grab it from. I use Record It to get the sound effects from YouTube, and that's also how I get clips for Yoshi reviews as well. So I basically just slot audio in when I need to. It's mostly to do with Plushie Empires, Hornby Adventures, basically that whole shebang. Sometimes I need to speed up the footage in order to get it to fix as well. However, sometimes iMovie's not enough and I need to use other apps. My main green screen app, which I use for green screening, is Videoleap. And this is what I mostly use when I make engines now. I used to use an app called Splice, and that was used up until Disaster, when they changed their policies so that it was basically the green screen, which was mostly what I used, was now premium. And when I tried to, do it, it just said, nah. So I had to swap. And thankfully, Videoleap was what I was after. Now, originally with Videoleap, you could only save one green screen thing at a time. So basically, I could only save one at a time before it just said, nah. However, now I can pretty much put whatever I want in there. However, at the price of a watermark for the first 3 seconds. Usually how I get around this is I normally just have a black mark at the first 3 seconds just to basically black out the watermark so that it can still function the way it does. Good for me. My main app for animating is Stop Motion Studios. Now this isn't really an animating app, but I just use it because it's essentially the only thing I really use. Sure, I have tried to dabble with FlipperClip, but personally, I'm just more settled with Stop Motion Studios and how it just works for me. However, with the animating, I normally end up getting footage with the animating. So with most of the footage that I animate, I normally take first. This is true for series like Engines, where I just get the footage with the animation. However, for Yoshi's origin story, I know the animation there is more settled in. It's more with pictures there. I normally just paste pictures in and then animate those. And for shots where a character is moving but a character is static, I'm also just slap that on a green screen and then just shove it into Videoleap. So that's how that works, and that's how I animate. If I have to give out tips, more so just draw what you're after and make sure it looks good for you. If it doesn't look good to you, then just try again. However, just go with a style that you like. For example, my style is kind of based off of some of the old Thomas videos, like ones back in the day. It's more so based off of them, and that's basically my main inspiration for my animation style. It's not so cartoony like those ones, it's more just animating. In fact, another kind of inspiration is more CGI Thomas, as that's another big inspiration for me. That's a big one. Another tip is, if you're doing a shot and a character is moving, just track it and don't redraw it, unless you absolutely have to. I used to redraw them back in the old days when I was animating. That was just because I basically had no idea how the hell to copy and paste stuff over. In fact, Engines was the main thing which pushed me over to Stop Motion Studios as my animating source. The original one I originally did for Stop Motion Studios was the Lying to Me music video, but now I just use Stop Motion Studios for basically any animation that I do. And it's served me well, other than the fact it's crashed on multiple occasions and lost all my work, which is fantastic. But yeah, overall good app. I would definitely recommend it. However, I do believe that the Paint is under a paywall, so you will have to pay. Now, I think it's kind of cheap. It's like 80p, I think. So you could get everything for like £5, so it's not that expensive. However, there are some downsides to these apps, and I'm gonna go through them. I managed to find one major problem with each of them. So here are the problems which I personally experience. The Stop Motion Studios, when I animate a lot and shove it all into one big thing, it normally takes a while to load. It takes like a solid 10 seconds to load, as opposed to one which doesn't have that much in comparison. So that is one problem with Stop Motion Studios. For Videoleap, it's kind of a similar problem, except your actions really slow down. It lags like complete and utter fuck, as opposed to just one which you just edit on the whim. So again, just shoving it all into one thing causes it to completely shit itself. And my biggest problem with iMovie is that you can only have 3 audio clips playing over at one point, which often means that with Hornby Adventures specifically, I end up normally doing dubbing tracks before I end up recording the lines for the video. However, this means I normally have multiple videos of the same thing over and over again, with only difference being audio tracks missing or lines missing, so that's good. Speaking of having multiple of the same things, it's probably a smart time to mention that when you're making videos, for the love of God, keep an eye on your storage. It's a very easy thing to do, and I honestly forget half the time. Especially when I've made a video and then I've realized, oh, now I've got no storage, so I need to delete past videos. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And then finally, it's the obvious stuff. I end up exporting them. I export them in 1080p, but sometimes I've saved them in 4K by accident, or in 720. Then I just shove it into the upload system and then upload it. And then that's how you see the videos that you see right now. And that is how I make my videos. So if you found this video helpful or informative, well, you know where the like button is. And make sure you subscribe so you can see more content like this. Like Yoshi drop kicking the door open. He's done! So make sure you subscribe for more content like that. And then thanks for watching. And until the next video, all I can say is, have a good one.